Hi, everybody. It's Michelle Anglesano, co-author of Methylation Madness, Insight into the Biochemical and Personal Lives of Hypermethylators. I haven't done a couple videos in quite a while, so forgive me. It's been a little crazy busy. But I've been talking to a lot of people online and talking to people on PMing people and on the phone and on Facebook. It's amazing. So I wanted to bring something into light about myself. So about 2 months ago, I had my blood tests done by Dr. Doolin, and for some reason, my liver enzymes were a little high. Now, for me, having my liver enzymes a little bit high, even 1 or 2 points, kind of puts me into a panic because of the fact that I was in liver failure at one point in my life about seven years ago because of a methylating antibiotic. And I am just so grateful that I survived that. It was a long process, and thank you to Dr. Doolin, I am standing here today. So anyway, I waited a month. I didn't eat anything off my dietary program. I drank way more water than what my program calls for. I didn't touch any alcohol, which I don't drink a lot to begin with because of my methylation, but there are certain things I can drink once in a while. Didn't touch a thing. I was doing Kundalini yoga, liver detox every day, and I was just being as perfect on my program like I was 30 years ago. So we did bloods again, and my liver enzymes came out fine. Also on those blood tests in the beginning, the first ones were my hematocrit and my hemoglobin and my RDWs were a little high also. So anyway, I had new bloods done a month and 2 weeks later, and there's a little bit of OCD that just never goes away. And my hematocrit, hemoglobin, and RDWs were still a little bit high. But what was interesting for the first time in my entire life was my total bilirubin was 0.4. That's more of a hypomethylator. And I am a hypermethylator. I usually run between 0.6 and 0.8, which to some of my methylation, my sulfur sisters, is like nothing. But they came back the way they did, so it was very strange. So I asked Doc, I'm like, well, I don't understand. Why are these levels still not right completely, even though my liver is good and I feel perfectly fine? So I asked him to explain it. So he wrote me an email, and he said, while MTHFR is involved in cycling methionine, it doesn't do that as the main way the body gets methionine. Diet is the main way the body gets methionine. So if you have a low methionine methylating diet for a long period of time, i.e. me, even enzymes working at low rates of 20 to 25% will clear the backed up methionine and bring it back to a normal level in the body. Once it does, they keep going and push the level, methionine, lower in the system. Once it goes to a too low level, you can now have symptoms of low methylation even though you're a hypermethylator. This is only one of the ways that it can occur and relates to my chemistry. The trick is, a la Dr. Doolin, is to add very small amounts of methionine to fill the pathways up to the 20-25% of enzyme activity without going over that. This provides all the immune detox and other controls that methionine, SAMe, produce in your system, maintaining balance. This is why diet plans are integral parts of any protocol. The attempt to just use supplements is doomed to fail because of the diet's ability to overwhelm any pathway because of volume of amino acids. So, the first thing I said to him, I'm like, wait a minute. So now my bilirubin, which is usually on the high side, is now on the low side. So I don't think about all the chemistry. All I think about is food. So my first question to him was not like, oh my God, what should I do? What supplements, but this, what that. My first question to him was, does that mean I can have fish? So that was his answer. I am now allowed to have fish once a month. Now, mind you, I've not had fish in, I don't know, 15 years. At one point in my diet, way back, I was able to have a little bit of fish, and then he had to take it completely away. 10, 15, 20 years. I don't even know. It was so long ago. I could have been in diapers at this point. So I'm now allowed to have fish once a month because he needs to boost my methionine pathway just a bit to get that bilirubin up to where it is good for my level. I asked him, so now I start going on. I'm like, well, I could have fish. Does that mean I could have rice? Does that mean I could have seaweed? Does that mean that I can have peppers and etc.? And I listed a myriad of foods. And he said, no. He wants me to have just fish because it is the highest methionine food because of the protein content. Rice and peppers, sushi, for example, would be more of a sulfur because there's very little fish and more of the rice and the seaweed and the soy sauce. That's all sulfur rather than methionine. So I went and I got myself grilled shrimp, butterfly, great big gigantic grilled shrimp, and grilled scallops with some mashed potatoes and some, I think it was a couple weeks ago, like zucchini in just butter. I still can't do garlic or onion or anything like that because those are sulfurs, and that would just mess things up even more. So I'm also a holistic meditation coach and a Reiki healer, so I'm all about being mindful. Well, let me tell you, the experience of eating one of my favorite things in the entire world, fish, was the most mindful eating experience I've had in decades. So, how did it make me feel after I just gave you the Mario Batali explanation of food? After I ate it, I felt a little bit wired, and Dr. Doolin was monitoring me the whole time for the rest of the evening, calling, texting, because my system is so delicate. So I felt a little bit hyper, a little bit overthinking, little rapid heartbeat, but then it kind of went away. And I have been having a little bit of hyperventilation, like take a deep breath. You might even see it while I talk. And that has to do with the pollen level with my histamine being so high. So I was a little nervous, eating this, but it kind of made me feel a little bit more balanced. And he said it actually will help the tiny bit of body pain that I've been getting, and the not being able to the not being able to focus. But for the most part, I feel fine, except for my normal, hypermethylation symptoms that come along. But I thought that was just such an interesting thing, and it was one of the most amazing experiences that I've had in such a long time, because I was able to eat something different. But again, it's very, very important that people don't play with their methylation chemistry, and they really are under the care of a doctor who truly understands the biochemistry part of it, the dietary part of it, and how, like Doc said, the trick is how to add small amounts of methionine. Because if I added all kinds of sulfurs and methionines, then my sulfur pathway, my methylation pathway would just get completely overloaded, and I'd bang out a huge headache. I would just be a disaster like I was years ago. Anyway, this might be a little bit long-winded, but I really hope that this gave you a little bit more insight into the biochemical and personal lives of hypermethylators. Sorry, title of the book. Anyway, I really hope that it gave you a little bit more insight into how delicate diet is to the system, how delicate supplements, methylating supplements, are to MTHFR, SAMe, COMT, biochemistry. Super important. Stay alert with what you guys have if you are truly a hypermethylator or a hypomethylator. That's all I got. I hope it helped you, and I will see you soon. Oh, I will be at the Hilton Garden in Ronkonkoma. I have a couple of books, and I would love to chat with some of you. Thanks. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. See you later.